everyone, it's Toni. Now with the holidays coming, I have lots of guests coming in and out of my front door, and little kids running up and down the stairs to the guest bedrooms. Well, instead of keeping my big foyer light on all night, I thought of adding some subtle lighting by putting in a few wall sconces. I looked online and saw some pieces that would work, but most of them involved some electrical work. Well, today I want to show you how I solved my problem by creating my own wall sconces that I could use to illuminate all my hallways, plus add some elegant, dramatic lighting and unique style to a few of my formal areas. So today I want to show you how I created a few different sconces from simple to bling using Dollar Tree tap lights. Here's how I made these. One of the sconces I really liked was this Euro design piece with crystal drops at the bottom and a silvery see-through fabric for a shade. I thought of using ribbon to recreate this, but at Walmart I was lucky enough to find this silver and very sheer material. So I picked up a yard of this for $3.97. With that material, I want to start by making simple sconces similar to these for my stairwell. For these first sconces, along with the material, I'll be using Dollar Tree LED wall tap lights, craft sticks, and the hot glue gun. Okay, so I'm going to start by building a couple of frames around my tap light. I'm using 4 craft sticks for each frame, and I need to mark the length of the tap light. So I'm going to put the stick against the tap light and put a couple of marks at the top and the bottom of this craft stick. Now I'm cutting the craft stick by the mark so that I have straight edges and so that the craft stick is the exact length of the tap light. All 4 craft sticks will be cut this length, and I cut 3 sets of 4 pieces. With the hot glue, I'm gluing 4 pieces together to make a square frame. Now I'm going to wrap my frames with this silver material. The pieces I like have a smooth covering, but since my silver material is so transparent, I'm going to try to give it pleats like the larger piece that I like. So for each frame, I cut pieces of material that is twice as long as the frame and gives me about 1.5 inches on each side. So I'm facing to me the side of the frame where the 2 bars are crossed in the front. I'm folding the end of the material inward, pressing it against the edge of the frame, and then I'm going to flip that over and hot glue the ends onto the back of the frame. Turn it over and keep gathering up pleats and gluing it in the back. I would use the pieces of your wooden sticks that you cut off to press the material down into the glue. Pleat it all the way to the end till you have something like this. Then you're going to turn it back over and cut off the excess material up to the wooden frame. You're going to cover all 3 frames like this. Next, I'm going to hot glue 2 of my frames to the sides of the tap light. After you put hot glue on one side of the tap light, place the tap light down flat and then press and hold the frame to the side of the tap light. Make sure the edges line up and press and hold for 20 seconds. Then do the same for the other side. Then we'll put hot glue down the edges of both of the frames. Position the last cover frame on top of the edges of the first 2 frames. Make sure everything's lined up and hold it in position for a little bit. If you need to, you could hot glue a strip of material on the corners to cover up the edges. If you want, you can also cover the very top and bottom of the tap light. The back will stay exposed, There's a hole on the back of the tap light so that you can hang this from a nail on the wall, and you can always just take it off the wall and replace the batteries. These take 3 AAA batteries. So I can literally just hang these anywhere on the wall, and these tap lights surprisingly put off a good bit of light. So I could use them as sconces or as night lights. These little ones will be perfect for my house guests in the dark hallways at night. My next set of sconces will be for my living room, so I want to add a little bling. For this, I'm using 4 Dollar Tree 2" by 3" silver frames, diamond wrap ribbon, tap lights, and the hot glue gun. So I'm going to take all the backends off these frames and separate the glass from the frame. Then I'm going to cut a few strips of diamond wrap the length of the glass and make sure I have enough that will cover the opening of the frame. About 3 strips of this will do. I'm putting hot glue across the top and bottom of the glass to glue the strips down. Then I'm going to put a couple of drops of hot glue in the center open corners of the frame. Then gently slide the diamond studded glass into the frame so that it doesn't touch the glue until it's all the way in. And then you're going to push it down towards the front. You can also put some hot glue in the corners to keep the glass in place. After you do the same to all 3 frames, you're going to put hot glue on the side of the tap light and glue the tap light inside of the frame at the top edge. You're going to glue a frame on each side of the tap light just like in the last piece, and then glue the last piece on top of the 2 frames. Then I'm going to put single strips of diamond wrap on the side to hide the glue, and a little at the top and the bottom of the tap light. I'm adding these sconces to go on either side of my feathered wall art. I wanted to mount my art on a larger frame, but until I find one, these wall sconces will help fill up and warm up the space. And look at how dramatic this will look at night. So for my last sconces, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to make these bigger and lots of bling. For this one, I'm using 4 3.5 by 5" silver frames, my sheer silver material, medium and large teardrop shaped and round crystal beads, small silver beads, 26 gauge silver wire, and diamond wrap ribbon. Now this piece I want to look more like that inspiration piece with the dangling crystals and the silvery shade. So I separated the frame from the glass and I'm cleaning the glass pieces. And like on my small sconces, I want to do a pleated covering on the glass. So I cut a piece of material that's twice as big as the glass and twice as wide. And I'm making pleats in the material by gathering and hot gluing at the top and the bottom of the glass. You can do the pleats on one side, but this one I'm folding it over to make it a little more opaque. I thought it was a little too transparent. So I have pleated material on both sides. Then I'll trim around the edges and push the covered glass back into the frame. Now it's still transparent, but the tap light is diffused a lot. After repeating this for the other 2 frames, we're going to glue the 2 pieces, side pieces, onto the middle piece. I'm going to put some hot glue down the side of one piece and line up and glue it to the side of another piece. Then glue the 3rd piece on. Now you have the front and the sides of the box all together. And while it's still open, I want to add the dangling crystals. Now you can buy some strands of crystals from Hobby Lobby or Michael's or online, and that would be much easier than my next steps. And this will be time consuming, but since I already had these beads, I want to show you how you could make the strand yourself, just in case you're interested. Okay, so first I'm going to cut a piece of wire about 10 inches. Then I'm going to make a small loop and then twist the wire at the bottom of the loop. Something like this. Then from the other end of the wire, I'm going to thread a small silver ball, then a crystal ball, then another small silver ball. Then I'm going to pull that all the way up to the top where that loop is. Then I'm going to make another loop at the bottom of those 3 pieces. Then I'm going to cut the extra wire off really close to the loop. Now I just made one link for my strand of beads. To make another link, I'm going to take my wire, put it into the loop, and make another loop underneath that one by twisting the wire like I did at the beginning and adding another pattern of beads. Then you make another loop at the bottom, and that's your second link. Now just to break up this pattern, I want to add a teardrop shape, and this is how I do it. I'm going to put a small silver bead and then a medium-sized teardrop. I'm going to bring that all the way up to the last loop, and then I'm going to make a small loop over the teardrop and then twist the wire around in between the silver piece and the teardrop, and then I'm going to cut that really close. And now I have a teardrop at the end of this strand. Now since I want to add more beads underneath this teardrop and there's no hole at the bottom, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the rest of my wire, put it into the same hole at the top, and extend it down below the crystal. And then I'm going to take the other half around the front and then twist at the bottom of the crystal. That way I can continue to add beads to make more links and make the strand longer. Now for each side of my box, I'm going to have 3 strands. The middle will have 2 links at the top, a teardrop, then 4 links, then a teardrop at the bottom. The other 2 will be different in that there's just 1 link at the top, and the rest is the same as the middle, but they fall shorter. Okay, so I'm just going to bend the top of the wire at a right degree angle and hot glue it to the top of this box. I'm starting with the center one, and I'm putting it right in the center, and I'm going to hot glue on the wire and over the wire right at the top inside part of the frame. And I'm gluing the other 2 pieces evenly spaced inside the frame on each panel. And this is what I have. Now the reason I have the crystals inside the box is because this material is pretty sheer, and I want just a hint of those crystals to shine through when the light is on, so it sort of sparkles. Now to close this up, I'm going to use 2 of the back ends from the frame, and I'm going to take this stand piece off. Then I'm going to glue 2 pieces together so that they're facing each other, and both sides will be black. Okay, so now I'm going to put the tap light on top of this piece right in the middle, and I'm going to trace around it. I want to glue this tap light onto the back of this cardboard backing, but I want to cut out a window so that the back of the tap light will be accessible. So I'm going to draw a small border inside the lines that I traced so that I'll have a little bit of a lip to glue the tap light onto. I'm using my X-Acto knife to cut through the cardboard. And that looks good. Looks like I'll be able to get my batteries out. And I'm just going to put a line of glue around the front edges to make it extra secure. I also want to gather some material on the inside here. And after trimming the material, I'm going to stick this back into the frame. Now before I glue the backing onto the other pieces, I'm going to put one short strand of crystals at the bottom of this frame. Now I can glue this last piece onto the back. Since I see some light showing through, I'm going to put some diamond wrap on the seams. And I'm going to finish it off with a crown of beads on top. Now I think I'm all done. And these will go just perfect by my front door. Just enough light for the guests to see while they're coming in or going out. And it's just transparent enough to see the crystals sparkling from the inside. And look, if I hang the two right next to each other, it looks a lot like my inspiration piece. But I think I like it better apart. But you can get really creative with these tap light sconces. And now I have some really cool dramatic lighting for my home for the holidays. They're so inexpensive, I can put them in every room in my home. And I don't even need an electrician. Now you can pick up all my favorite crafting supplies and products used on this show with the one-click easy shopping and fast delivery convenience of Amazon. On my new Amazon shopping page, type in amazon.com/shop/yourhouseofhometv and you'll find all the supplies for my newest project, all my crafting supplies, project pieces, home decor, kitchen, garden, and more. And pick up our Your House of Home metallic multi-surface acrylic paint. With 8 shimmering colors, you can mix millions of colors and paint on any surface, indoor or outdoor, to create endless home beauty. And while you're there, add to your cart our Book of Elegant Home Crafts Volume 1, filled with step-by-step instructions for your favorite projects. Available here in paperback and ebook. See the information tab for the hardcover. Get this and all the supplies you need for your next project all in one place. I'll be working every day to add great products to make home crafting fast and easy. Follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and Snapchat at Your House of Home and Your House of Home TV for daily home, food, and gardening tips.